Hi everyone, it's Mr. T back again from the land of love and adventure. In this documentary, we're going to look into how to go about finding a loving and caring spouse or partner here in Dominican Republic, whether that be a Dominican or a Haitian. Now, we're going to look into the pitfalls, some of the cultural differences and more. And since I know there's a large portion of my viewers that are male, I thought, why not start with a lovely lady who's kind of in the caliber of type of ladies that you may be looking for. And she's going to give you her take on the best way to go about finding a quality person. So here you go, meet Rosie. Rosie, what advice would you give to guys or ladies overseas who are thinking of coming down and meeting a nice sweetheart down here in the Dominican Republic?
It's good to know the person very good first and see the education about them. When you know someone right here, it's very important to have the time for know them, or for know that person who you are interested in.
What they do for a living, their education,
Exactly.
etc.
The education, how they treat the other person too. That's one way to you see if that person is fine for you or no. If you have the same education, even when there are different culture, it's good to know each other, where it's come from, the family. Have the time.
Take the time to get to know them.
Well, it could be as different as the living conditions. Maybe you go visit them or visit their family, and you'll see it's not what you're used to as far as living conditions. Not as far as what you're used to at your hotel, the amenities and stuff that are there. Because a lot of stuff here is pretty basic. You may go someplace that doesn't have running water per se, or you may go somewhere that doesn't have hot water. And to them it's not a big deal. To us, I see people complain over hot water, and then the way the food is made. Just the cultural differences can be a shock. But just always remember, we're in their country, so you kind of want to adapt to that culture a little bit. That's always been my opinion. If you're gonna want to be here, I feel, or meet someone here, I feel it will help you adapt into the culture and getting to know the culture.
And what expectations do they normally have? Are they more old-fashioned, but they expect a financial contribution, or what's the expectations typically? Now I'll say from a lady, since you're a guy, So.
In a sense, I would guess I've had experiences like that, but my best experience are with women who don't want anything from me. I find that those women are the ones that are really they want to get their own, they want to work, they want to go to school, they want their own. Now, everybody needs a little bit of help, obviously, but I'd rather deal with someone that per se doesn't need me as much, so that I don't mind helping. But sometimes and that's I think where some people mess up trying to find a mate, is they turn it into a financial thing rather than making a personal thing first, and you're leaving the financial part out later.
So with Dominican, one big challenge is family. Family is one of their biggest things. And as we all know, most of these women, they try to squeeze the juice out of you by saying the excuse, oh, my grandma's sick, my mother is sick, she needs medicine, she needs this, please give me. This problem, personally, I don't have. We have a good relationship with our families, even with her sides. It's big, it's very big. Dominicans love their families.
So what things are better, you think, about the Dominicans than what you experienced with the foreign ladies that you had encounters with?
I like to cook more.
Like to cook?
Yes.
Yeah?
Food is excellent, yes.
Okay. Any other personality traits that you think that are better?
All women are almost all alike. The Latin women are a little more aggressive. They're very jealous sometimes, so it's a little hard sometimes, but it's fun.
I think down here is a lot of differences. It's really hard to hit it off and have the normal one-on-one conversations and relationships and things in common that you strive for in a relationship and you try to get back home. Here, it's tougher to find. Sosua, as I mentioned, is kind of a business town, but if you wind up going outside of the Sosua area, different parts of the country, I think you can find more, you'll have better luck at a more normal type of relationship like that.
Right. So is there any one specific thing that really drove you up the wall that made you split up with this lady?
with this woman, she was constantly trying to be argumentative with me, and I just didn't understand it. The first month was fantastic, and the month later, it was like I didn't recognize her. She was just argumentative towards everything that was going on, and that's not typical. A lot of times, it's the problem that'll drive a guy away down here is they kind of look at the gringo as an ATM machine, as if we have a non-stop supply of money. They all seem to think we have an iPhone tree in the back of our yard, and we just pluck a new one for them.
Right.
So that's how they tend to look at the gringos, unfortunately.
I met a Dominican girl, and she's the type of woman I like. She's a businesswoman. She's respect me, and I feel is she follow the line I'm driving, and we are together.
Yeah.
And still now we okay.
And that's not the most usual thing over here, that Haitian guys find Dominican ladies, is it? I see a lot of Haitian guys finding Haitian ladies or a foreigner, but you're one of the few that I meet that's actually with a Dominican lady.
Depend of your education and depend of the person you are, the ability you have for yourself.
Yeah, so I know your communication's good, you're a businessman, she's a business lady, so that just clicked.
I'm not with a Dominican, I'm with a woman.
Yeah.
I'm not with a Dominican, I'm with a woman who she suit me good, I suit her good, and that's it.
I think relations between foreigners and locals are very complicated because we are from two different cultures, and also there is a main issue with money. That's the main problem actually for me. I have the feeling that women here, they feel like, or they think that foreigners have money falling from the sky, you know, which is not really the situation. But then they don't understand why sometimes you say no for this and for that, because you have a budget to follow.
And what happens when you say no?
They don't understand. They think that foreigners have money like unlimited credit.
Would you say it's a lack of education?
I think it's the way they are educated by the parents.
A slum area over here is called a barrio.
Yeah.
So let's say a guy finds a lady, or a lady finds a guy from the barrio.
Mm-hmm.
You can take them out of the barrio, but you can't take the barrio out of the person.
Yeah, I don't think you can take them out.
So there's got to be some kind of clash in beliefs and habits and expectations.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I think relation can work, but it's very complicated. But it's complicated everywhere.
are they pushing at any stage for you to meet the family? Is that a high priority for them to quickly introduce you to their family?
I've had a few that have done that, not quickly, but they've asked, and I actually didn't mind that because I thought that brought it to the next step of seriousness, similar to back home. So I have seen some of that. I've heard more of it happening to other gentlemen at a quicker rate, and that can be either they are serious or you have to be aware that now you're going to be introduced to the family's problems. And you know, being that you're the rich gringo, they're going to hope that you help the mother that has this problem and the cousin that has this problem, and unfortunately you have to be wary of that.
There's only so many sick grandmothers somebody
That's
can have.
exactly right. Yeah, only so many times can the grandmother die, right? That you have to
That's
help out
right.
the family.
The other thing, I've heard some horror stories where guys get keen to bring her back, and she says, I've always wanted to move to Canada, I've always wanted to move to Europe or US. Would you be recommending that or warning people against it?
I would say for the most part it doesn't work. They don't transfer so well. I've had many that have worked for me. When I was still living in the States, I had about 4 Dominicans that worked for me, and I asked them, all of them, how do they feel about being there? Was it all they had hoped it would be? And each one of them said it wasn't. It was more expensive, they didn't like the weather, they didn't acclimate so well. So if you're doing that as in a relationship, thinking that the woman's going to be as happy as ever, typically they're not. They miss their home, they miss their family. It makes it very difficult on the relationship.
Yeah, I heard one story about a guy who brought, he was a bit older, but he was still working, and he brought her over. She was like a homemaker, and suddenly she said, I would like my brother to come and stay with us for a month. One day he came home from work and everything in his apartment was gone, and he obviously found out it wasn't the brother, it was her jeweler or her lover.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And that goes along with the story that I was saying earlier. Make sure that if you think you're having a one-on-one, make sure it is a one-on-one. Then make sure that you're not just the guy that's paying for everything for her and she has an actual Dominican boyfriend, husband on the side, because it's very common here that they do that.
Okay, you're male, so let's just say you're suggesting for the male viewers here, if they're looking for a sweetheart, what's the trick? Go everywhere else in Sosua, or Sosua is okay?
Well, it depends. My thing would be, if you're looking for a love, not just to be playing around, if you're looking for somebody, for the companion, you're going to be here, I would say doctor's office, maybe you go to the supermarket or something of that nature. You can find a sweet one in there, strike up a conversation. You can ask for a number. I mean, it has happened, it will happen. I mean, just out and about. You have so many places that you can go to find someone if you want to companion.
So under more natural circumstances,
yes.
Away from party and alcohol and all that.
Yes, I mean, there's some women that are out here looking for a companion, just like you're looking for a companion. It's just you going to find them. You can't find them in the streets. You have to go to businesses.
Well, if I could just interject something, I think also like places like Santiago and Santo Domingo, they have self-sustaining economies.
Yes.
So if you happen to bump into some sweet lady who's working in a dentist office, or you're in a place trying to buy some new sunglasses and she sends you the right kind of look, and
yes.
There's a connection there, then just strike up a conversation, ask about her life, and the next thing, maybe you can swap numbers.
Which is true, and I mean, they're looking just like you're looking. Like I said, there's a lot of sweet ones down here. There's a lot of them that are looking for companionship, just like you're looking for companionship, and it's not impossible. Let's put it like that. It's not impossible. If you're out there looking, you will find. It's just you searching and doing what you have to do.
Yeah. I know in Punta Cana, because I worked out there many months in a row, a lot of the ladies, they said they'd never been to Sosua, and I said, what? I've flown thousands of kilometers to get to this place, and you're just down the road and you've never been out here? Are you sure? And they go, no, because it's a big taboo in my family.
Yes.
Because a lot of them come from very religious families, these girls.
Well, they are religious down here. So, I mean, when they come from other parts of the country, I say, sneak down here to Sosua, do what they have to do when they go back to where they have to go. And, they don't want anybody to know, And you might see them maybe once every 2 months. But you do have women that are looking for companionship. And you can go to the capital, Santiago and all, and there's a good possibility that you can find someone.
So I assume the best way to go is just go out, have some fun, and get to know people. If you go through people, most of them, they will hook you up with one of their cousins or something, again, to try to find their visa. Best is just go out, travel, have some fun, get to look at the country, see who you bump in on the way to.
If somebody really wanted to find somebody online, do you think that's possible, or it's a waste of time?
It's a waste of time, because only the women who want to get out of the country or who want to get money, they're the ones that be online. Women who are looking for true love, they don't look online. They just wait for it to come.
I think here, in a town like Sosua, it's kind of a business town here. So the women here are friendly towards gringos, expats. Unfortunately, I've been here now 4 years, and it's tough to have a one-on-one serious type of relationship with them. A lot of them mention to me that they're not happy with the Dominican men from the way they treat them. And I've tried to have a serious relationship with a few girls here, but it seems to me, even though they say how unhappy they are, in the end, it's kind of all they want is a Dominican man. It's all they know.
Folks, in case you haven't, click the subscribe button and make sure you tick the notification bell to make sure you get all my new releases. Now let's get back to the video.
Well, honestly, first Spanish would help. Speaking the native language, that'd definitely help. Communication is everything.
Right.
Also, maybe, going to one of the local bars and dancing. Bachata, salsa, merengue. A little bit of dancing always helps. So I think, getting into the culture will maybe help you meet someone a little bit easier and, get them a little more comfortable with you.
I know you head out to remote places and where you hardly even see now we all call gringos down here. Well, you hardly see a gringo, but you will head out and mingle amongst the locals a lot.
I've had a lot of fun.
What are those towns called, or where is it?
I've been all over the country. I was just recently in Bani, Bonao, on that side of the country. Excuse me, Mao. I was just over there recently into the town. A couple towns this side. I travel a lot, but I go to the local areas because I speak Spanish, but I have a lot of fun. The locals know how to party, and that's what I said. If you can dance a little bit, go party out with the locals, you'll meet a lot of nice people. So.
Around Sosua, I know a guy, if he looks at it, now I say guy because I'm a guy, but if a guy looks at a lady for more than 1 second, she thinks you're interested in her in terms of spending time, her making money, etc. So being relationship focused, being away from Sosua, how is that whole scenario different, or is it different?
Well, Sosua is a town what it's there for. I mean, it's a small town, and we know a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes here, on this trip or whatever. But if you step outside of that, it's way different.
So if I looked at a girl for more than 1 second, doesn't necessarily mean in one of those other areas that they're gonna come and say hello, or you still have to make you actually have to
an
effort and approach and all that.
If you stare at a girl more than a minute in another location, they'll probably think you're a weirdo. So,
okay.
You mainly want to have a conversation, offer a drink, buy a beer, and that's actually what I do. That sparks up a lot of conversation.
Okay, so it's more what we would call normal as overseas.
Yes, yeah, it's normal. Hey, how you doing? Normal conversation. Would you like to dance? Would you like to drink? Stuff like that, and it goes a long way. Same as it does back home.
I'm from Santo Domingo. I here for my love, because before I say no more Dominicano. I know when gringo for internet, we say come in Sosua, and I come. And later I work in the production. In Santo Domingo, so many people. It's la capital, the capital. Santiago, a little bit same, but here it's small, but it's beautiful, it's comfort, the people is good, and the more work. It's opportunity for me.
Where's the biggest chance they could find good, honest, decent person?
They can go to the countryside, not around here, because the lady here, they only looking for money. They don't want a good relationship with anybody. They just want the money and keep going. The lady in the countryside, they be quiet. They like to work. They want to make a house with a man, just to make a family. But around here, the lady doesn't want to make a family. They just want to get fun and get money and go out.
Dominican now, I'm sorry. I am Dominican, but I prefer gringo
¿Por qué? Why is that?
Different person. The Dominicano, no so much have education. But gringo is different. He's a nice man. He's very romantic. Dominican is romantic, but different.
Before we switched the camera on, you said something about you didn't like being treated like an object. So you said something about the macho.
Yes. Maybe not everybody Dominicano. So much Dominicano good man, but the Dominicano so much thin. The woman is changed or table because today so much woman dead. Everybody know this, and the greens is different. They said cooking for me and the wine for me and the dinner in this restaurant. Dominicano,
Okay.
This is a little bit experience with anything Dominicano. No, very happy. Not very happy. Anytime good, anytime aggressive, a little bit. It's my people.
Violent?
No, strong, but different. Different. Gringo, no aggressive, and many times, never aggressive. Maybe boys the strong, many times gringo too, but Dominicanos different.
Okay. So you find your foreigner, he will communicate more with you?
Very communication, I like. This is have a big education.
Well, you must be learning a lot of English.
Understand me with woman, how I am, and the thing. She liked the flower for Angelina. She liked the good dinner and the good restaurant for Angelina. Because
now, many, especially men, are worried about that they're going to bump into somebody who's always going to want money. Do you think that's just a silly fear that they have, or you think many Dominican I know you're a good lady, you're a working lady, you're very independent, but many ladies, would they be after somebody to take care of them, or you think most ladies just want a good man for relationship?
Here, the different woman. The other in the world is different woman. It's only you looking at the good woman or good man. If you're here, you looking at that person is good for you.
Yeah. Have they all met him?
Yes.
So familiar?
Yes, my family is saying
Gusto?
very good.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay, very good. Why you actually prefer Haitian women or the culture from them? You are married to one, yes. So can you give them a little bit of your angle on why that is?
Well, being married to a Haitian girl and living in Port-au-Prince, I dove right deep into the culture. And what I liked about the Haitian females is that their day, you can spend a whole day with them and they're never distracted by other things. They enjoy the time they spend with you. They take care of each other's hair. They cook. They do the laundry. They go to the market. You can spend hours with a Haitian girl, and there's never any sense of a rush or any sense of pushing you. You're almost invisible to them because their life is centered around taking care of the home, and that's not really your job in Haiti. So you just get to sit and do the things, go for walks with them, and you can go to the markets, and they're just very, very pleasant. There's very little times when it goes south and there's arguments or something. That can occur from passion, but just not to the day-to-day events like it is back in the West, where you don't know which supermarket to go to and you end up arguing with the wife or something. It doesn't happen with the Haitian girl. Their culture is so strong and their roles are so defined that you're sitting beside them almost, which is a rare quality for a man, because in North America, the female's roles, there's no definition. So they in fact sit with you where you are, and you don't fucking want women around. Most guys don't even want women around them, but they refuse to get away. But Haitian women, you have to step into their world. they sort of look at you askance because Haitian men don't usually go there. Haitian men have their own separate journeys through life than the women. But as a white guy, I got to spend a lot of time with them, and they're just incredibly peaceful and happy within their own world. It's a very poor world. They suffer daily, but you never know it from their happiness or their smiles. And I found that it not only lifts your own spirits, but it makes you stronger as a person. You just end up enjoying even the sad things in the day, the hard things in the day, like the Haitian girls do.
So they're not spoiled?
Not at all. If you had a list of spoiled from the top where I come from, through Sweden, Norway, all those other countries, all the way down to the bottom, Haiti's on the bottom 3, guaranteed. Unless you offer them something unusual, like you could bring them a filet mignon and a Caesar salad, and they would turn it down for their pollo frito and rice, because their culture, it's beautiful, but it's very narrow, and they have a limited scope on life. So a lot of things that you know are better than the things they like, they just won't accept. But that's a whole nother topic. Is the mindset of the island people can be very open and hospitable, but it is rather narrow compared to what we would think in the West. But the girls, beautiful.
Be very careful. When you see things that are deceitful or lies, don't ignore a flag when it comes up. That's all I can say. Just be careful.
So like your mother said, if it seems too good to be true?
It is true. If it's too good to be true, it isn't.
For me, relations are quite simple here. But that's because I have quite simple relations with girls. Which means, okay, you visit me, you stay for an hour or two, and then you leave. And for me, that's the best thing to do, because you have no problem, and that's it. But to have a real love affair based on feelings, I don't believe in it, honestly.
When you're looking for love, it's difficult to find, because it's not when you're looking for it, it's not gonna be easy to get to your hand, like jump to your hand like you want. Love is connection.
So it just happens when it's meant to happen.
Yeah, right. Like stay like that. Not you say you see someone, you give some money, and that person gonna love you. No, that's impossible.
I guess one of the big ones is to make sure, if you think you're having a serious one-on-one relationship with a girl here, make sure it is one-on-one. Many of them have another guy in their life, and they won't tell you that. You'll have to find that out somehow another way. They're gonna act like you're their everything, but it's basically for what you can do for them. And again, I don't mean to say the whole country's that way, because it isn't. But a lot of it, when you see a woman who's very interested in a gringo, there's a reason. A lot of times she's interested. She wants things, and she will a lot of times, most of the time, have a boyfriend on the side, and sometimes she's even trying to get things for him as well. So it's you have to be cautious of that.
Basically, the most important is if they start asking for you for a lot of money, stop. That's right there. It's always the same. And if they keep asking the favorite phrase, oh, my mother's sick, my grandma's sick, I need something to send them or something.
So little white lies, silly excuses.
Those ones are the ones that stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And take it slow. Don't rush into things.
And the whole concept of wanting to get a visa, you mentioned that. Is that a very predominant thing that they want to get
normal.
Overseas?
It's normal. All the Dominicans think that outside this country it's much better, that the grass on the other side is greener. So yes, they all want to get out. They all want to live somewhere else because they think that's how they make money. But at the end, they realize that it ain't that pretty.
I believe indulging yourself in the culture. If you're going to come to the Dominican Republic looking for love, looking for a relationship, maybe indulge yourself in the culture more and learn more about the culture, because you're going to be dealing with Dominicans in Dominican Republic, so you may want to learn more about Dominicans.
What advice would you give to any person watching this video in terms of coming down and finding love, finding a good person? What's the best way to go about it?
Here we have the hut
big house. Yeah.
Beautiful. My Israel is beautiful, and my people is beautiful too. And everybody is good for coming.
All right, folks, thank you so much for watching to this point, and I hope you've enjoyed everything the guests have mentioned so far. Now, one gentleman, a friend of mine, wouldn't jump on camera, but he had a real good point about loneliness, so I just had to cover that. There's a lot of lonely people on this planet, as you know. Why is that? Well, I think one of the main reasons is, as they say, if the fish stinks, it stinks at the head. Governments, they want to divide and conquer. And the way they do that is through racial division, financial, religious, and much more. So a lot of people around the world are rejecting each other today. Even families are being broken down and splitting up. So a lot of people just end up alone. And if you're not at ease, you get disease. So we are sane when we are socializing with other friends, when we are getting out there and finding love and so forth. And if you don't do that, we go a little bit stir crazy. But that's one good thing about Dominican Republic. Down here, if you just give them a little bit of attention, you get a lot of attention back. You give them a little bit of love, you get buckets of love back. So think about that. If you want to come down and give love a try here, you certainly won't come out without some good stories, I tell you that, and some new amigos. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. Subscribe if you haven't. Tick like, recommend it to others, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.